Welcome back to the Why Mindset Matters podcast. I'm Eslana Loa. I'm an author, speaker, resilience mindset coach. I'm a nurse, a midwife, and a mother of four. And if this is somehow the first episode of mine that you've found, I do want to start by providing a trigger warning. I do discuss the loss of my teenage daughter, Riley, to suicide. Welcome back. I am so excited to be back at it when it comes to the podcast. I've been quiet for a red hot minute, and it is most definitely not because my life has been quiet. I am an Aries who is running towards my goals as if my soul is on fire, so that is not really aligned with a quiet life, but I've been working tirelessly behind the scenes to be able to bring a couple of things to fruition, and I'm super excited to be here today announcing that that is the case and that I have done it. But I have a couple of free gifts to give away to anybody who's interested, no matter where you are in the world. And so I want to start by explaining that for those of you who haven't listened to the episode explaining it or don't know this about me, last year I wrote a book. I self-published. It's called Resilience After Great Loss, Learning to Live and Grieve Simultaneously, and it's available globally via Amazon. So I'm very proud of that. I didn't do it to become an author. I didn't write the book to make money, that's for sure, because when you self-publish, a good portion of the money that it costs to receive your paperback copy goes to places like Amazon. I did it because I had this burning need, if you like, or desire for it to come out of me. I just had to do it. And so I did. And well, I do a lot of things that when I start out, I don't really know how to do it. I didn't know how to write a book. I just knew that I was supposed to do it. Then I didn't know how to self-publish, and I figured that out, surrounded myself with the right people, the right supports, empowered myself, and then I self-published, and it is amazing. It was a lot for me to read it when I got my author's copy because my journey is a lot, but to be confronted with it on paper was a lot, is the only way I can really describe it. But since the beginning of me announcing that I had self-published the book and that it was available, there's been a lot of people who asked, is it going to be available in an audio version, an audio book? And I appreciate that some people prefer to read and others prefer to listen, and that there was definitely a place and a need for the audio version, but there was no version of me then last year or the future version of me that I could see being capable of being the one to read it because it was just too much. And I didn't think anybody wanted to sit there and listen to me cry my way through this book, because although, as the foreword mentions, it is such an incredibly valuable read for everyone and anyone. You don't need to be in the mud or the thick of grief to benefit from it. It's not a light read because I do discuss the loss of Riley to suicide and the environmental factors around that and the trauma associated with it. But the reason that I mention it is not to trauma bond, but rather to give weight to the subsequent chapters, because in the book I talk about the capacity for this untapped and uncapped resilience that I believe we all have access to, and the ability we have to learn how to live and grieve simultaneously. And that when life and its storms and its challenges, its grief, its losses, whatever it is, brings us to our knees, then we have these incredible aspects of our life, our choices, our perceptions that we can use to be able to facilitate learning how to live and grieve. But my viewpoint on that was, how could I really translate that without giving weight to what I had done myself and that I was embodying the kinds of things that I talk about and teach about? And so the reason that I discuss the details of Riley's death, and I do it carefully, is to give weight to that. Because if I spoke about this uncapped and untapped resilience and that you can learn how to live and grieve simultaneously, I know that I would have had people go, bitch, you don't know what I've been through. Sit down, be quiet. And so I do. I have been to the depths of hell and clawed my way out and back to my feet a number of times across my lifespan so far. So yes, that is the book itself and the journey that was writing it. And I have another episode where I know I talked about it in more detail earlier in the seasons of this podcast, but I found neurofeedback late last year, which is a form of therapy that heals the way that trauma affects your brain and how you act and react to life, but without you having to talk about the trauma. And if this is something that makes your ears prick up and you're interested in it, there is an incredibly reputable, amazing practice of therapists on the Gold Coast that are board certified who I would refer and recommend to absolutely everyone and anyone that was interested in them. But if you are somebody who is not on the Gold Coast and cannot access that group of people, I would encourage you that if it's something you want to look into, that you do your due diligence and your research and just make sure that the therapists themselves are board certified, because it matters. They're messing around with or healing, if you like, your subconscious and aspects of your brain that you just want to make sure that anybody who is dealing with those aspects of you, particularly in the context of trauma and helping us heal in life and integrate, are equipped and able to do so in a safe manner. So anyway, I found it was life-changing, was one of the best things I've ever done in my life, and it facilitated me being able to heal and integrate in a way that sees me embody the kind of resilience that I keep talking about, but also reach a place where I was able to read the book. And not only was I able to, it kind of needed to be me, was the realization. And I didn't know how to write a book, but I figured that out. And I didn't know how to create or facilitate an audio book. But when I started looking into it, there is now AI aspects where you can record a couple of sentences of your voice and then AI just whips up your book, which sounds amazing. But in reality, from what I could see of those platforms, is they essentially own the royalties. And if you stop paying your subscription to that site, your audiobook disappears. And so not only did I not want it to have to cost people, I didn't want it to disappear if I wasn't paying money or giving a good chunk. I also didn't want AI to be the one trying to work out how to tell such an emotive story about an emotional journey and be able to translate the weight of good, bad, or ugly, the aspects of my book. And so I recorded it. I used the same software that I use to record this podcast and edit it, which cleans up the sound and makes it sound like I'm in a studio. And I have a free online community via the school platform. I will put the link in the show notes here. But this community was made with you in mind. It is essentially a group of like-minded people navigating this journey that is life, aware that our basic human need is for connection, and it is to facilitate just that. So the community itself is free. And what I have decided to do is place the audio version of my book within that community under the classroom tab. So if you go there, you can access my audiobook for free. And initially I was going to put it out there and say, in the next 2 weeks, anyone who wants to access it you don't have to listen to it in the next 2 weeks. You would just have lifetime access to it at no cost. But the more I've sat with it, the more I've decided that I don't want your money. If you want to access the audio version of this book, Resilience After Great Loss, Learning to Live and Grieve Simultaneously, you can now do it from anywhere in the world via my online free community. And it will be, as I mentioned, under the classroom tab. What I've done is broken it into the chapters. So there's an audio file for each chapter, which allows you to kind of flick through it as you would a book, if you like, and the files to not be too big themselves. And so I've placed it there chapter by chapter under the classroom tab, available for free to anyone, anywhere that wants to listen to it. Now, to access it, you simply have to join my online community, which there is no cost. There is no financial contribution necessary in order to be a part of this group. Within the community, you will find access to and options for my coaching and my workshops and things like that. But it doesn't matter if the only reason you're there is to access the book. There is no financial contribution, and neither will there ever be, necessary in order to be part of the group. Okay? And you can be disinterested in the rest of everything that I have to offer. I really don't mind if you're only there for the book. But I wanted to put it out there and use this particular podcast episode to announce that, because I'm stoked that I was able to do it. It definitely was challenging. I would say it was definitely harder to read the book than it was to write it. but I did it. And I am extremely proud of myself for the capacity that I had to lean into learning how to live and grieve simultaneously, to say yes to life, really do the work and be willing to sit in the mud of grief in the ways that I have that have allowed me to be able to embody the kind of resilience that I keep talking about, because it is that resilience that facilitated me being able to actually in time read that book. And in doing so, make it available for free, because I don't want money to be the reason that people can't access help or information or resources. And that book embodies those things. And so that is my first gift to you. And so the other thing that I wanted to discuss, and if you stay with me, there is a gift in this as well for anyone who's listening that's interested. But the other thing that I have been working tirelessly on behind the scenes is being able to bring the kind of support that I provide in person via my workshops and coaching here on the Gold Coast and in Australia to anyone, anywhere, because I didn't want people to be limited by location. And so I've been working behind the scenes to really record all of the modules and bring the online format of what I teach and my grace method and the resilience mindset workshop and get the modules and aspects ready so that I could properly launch essentially my either one-on-one coaching, or there is a group option. And so as such, I currently have 4 spots available for anyone who's interested in working with me over 12 weeks in a one-on-one immersive, transformative experience where I help people who are navigating grief, loss, or life's biggest transitions really learn how to live and grieve simultaneously so that they can honor their story and reclaim themselves and start bringing that main character energy to their life, and in doing so create a really meaningful life that they genuinely love. So please reach out if you'd like to book a free call to just see if this is in alignment for you. But the other option that I have that I've been working on is the ability to have the same 12-week immersion and transformation experience and opportunity where we do the deep dive into the grace method and my resilience mindset workshop, but in a group setting. So if you are somebody who understands the benefit of a shared experience, and that when I'm in this with other people, they'll likely ask questions that I might not, and the benefit that comes from the connection facilitated by group setting, along with it being more cost effective, then please reach out, because I have that as an option. And there are spaces open currently for a founding members offer. So if you are somebody who is interested in either of those and you'd like to book a connection call with me, then I will also put my Instagram below in the show notes. Just DM me and let's book a time that suits both of us so that we can have a chat and see if it's in alignment. But the free gift that I wanted to offer today is in relation to coaching and a free session. So sometimes you just can't think your way out of something that you're right in the middle of, and that's where coaching can change things. Having someone help you really get underneath the self-doubt and the overthinking, the patterns that you just keep returning to, and see what you can't see from inside of them and what we can't see when we're actually stuck in that thing, and you just start to get clear on how you actually want to move forward. So at the time of putting this episode out, I am going to be opening up 5 completely complimentary coaching spots for men or women. It's a private 30-minute coaching session with me. I want you to bring me the thing that's taking up space in your head. You don't need to know exactly what's wrong. You don't need to know what you need to change, and you definitely don't need to have it all figured out before you come. There is absolutely no obligation to work with me afterwards. This is simply an invitation and an opportunity to experience what being coached by me actually feels like. And given that I've got the group settings and I've got the one-on-one options, I think this is a really perfect opportunity for anyone who has been sitting there potentially waiting for this announcement, or maybe you've never even heard me speak before or come across me until now, but it feels like one of these spots is supposed to be yours, then I want you to reach out to me. DM me via Instagram, email me, however you want to contact me, and I will get in touch so that we can book in a time for a Zoom call and actually have this coaching session. And if you're wondering whether the thing that you're dealing with is big enough for coaching, then I would say yes, it is, because it's not the details of what is impacting you, it's the impact that it's having on your capacity to live fully and not just survive this roller coaster that we call life, but learn how to thrive. And so there is no issue, if you want to call it that, too big or too small. let's do this. If you are somebody who wants to take me up on that offer and take one of these 5 spots, then please reach out sooner rather than later, because I would really love to help. And even if you are somebody who's like, I don't know when this episode came out, I've probably missed the boat, just reach out. Just reach out, because there's a good chance that that 5th session has been sitting there waiting just for you. And I would really love to have a chat. As I said, obligation free. Let's connect and see if it's in alignment. But I would really like to help you unpack whatever it is that's been taking up that space in your mind and your energy. And I would argue that I don't give you anything that you don't already have. I just light the path so that you can see the way forward and realize that you already have within you everything that you need in order to be able to really start to bring that main character energy and live the shit out of this one red hot crack we have at life. But yes, those were the 2 exciting announcements that I had. I recorded my audio book. It is available via the school platform for free to anyone anywhere in the world. And I have launched my online version of my coaching and workshop. So if you are somebody who would like to take me up on the offer of a free 30-minute coaching session, then please reach out. I'm back. I'm excited to be back doing the podcast. I will be back with more episodes and more regularly. And I am so excited for the next season of my life and the next season of Why Mindset Matters podcast. So thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Whether you've been here from the beginning or you've just joined me, welcome. So grateful to have you here. I will see you in the next episode.